cut to the chase. It was announced live on Drive about 20 minutes ago, give or take, that there are rumours coming out of America that there was a fight happening between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Uysk, possibly towards the end of the year, December the 23rd. Let's speak to the man, the one man who can tell us one way or the other whether or not that is true or false. Let's say hello to the head of Queensbury Promotions, Frank Warren, joins us. Hello, Frank.
Hi, Dean. Hi, Andy. How you doing?
We're good. Very well. How are you?
I'm fine. I can't complain.
Okay. Is there a fight that has been signed off between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Uysk?
Yes, there is. It's done.
It's done. Fantastic news. When is the fight happening?
It will happen during Riyadh season, which ends, it starts on the 28th of October and ends, I think it's the 2nd of March next year. So it will happen during that season.
Frank, how long have the talks been going on for?
For about 2 years. No, for about a year now. About a year. But look, the involvement of His Excellency and the doctor have made this happen.
Frank, the last time this fight was being discussed, there was problems over the split. What is the purse split for this fight? Can you tell us?
No, I can't. But it's done. That's all that matters. It's irrelevant. All of that is totally irrelevant. All that matters is it's signed. It's for the 4 belts. It's a huge fight. It's what everybody's been wanting, including myself and including Tyson and Usyk up to a point, and it's happening.
Frank, is there a rematch clause in it?
I'm not getting into any discussions about any of the content of contracts or anything. I mean, everybody should just be happy that it's on, and we're going to get what we've all been wanting for as boxing fans.
Can I ask, Frank, right, out of curiosity, why can't you tell us that? I'm just curious.
Because I don't want to.
But presumably it will be, that information will be released at some stage, right?
Yeah, of course it will. I mean, obviously we got this situation with the big fight that's coming up with him, with Tyson Ngannou on the 28th, and that's got to happen first. So, after that, everything will obviously become apparent.
As you said there, Frank, I think that fight's on the 28th of October. That doesn't leave a lot of time for preparation in case something was to go wrong in this Ngannou fight. Is it a bit of a short window?
Not really, because we've got the rest of the Riyadh season. As I said, and it doesn't finish till next March.
So the earliest this fight will happen will be March or April? We're looking at next year.
No, that's right. The Riyadh season finishes in March,
right?
So it'll have to happen before the finish of the season.
Okay. So do you have a date yet?
No, as I've just said, it'll be during that time. The moment we've signed it, and what we've got to focus on now is that there's no hiccups, and Tyson's got to come through this fight on the 28th.
Is that a worry at all? If he were to lose the fight, would that make a difference to this fight? Sorry, if he were to lose the Ngannou fight, would that make a difference to the Usyk fight or not?
Of course, it's a worry. He's got to come through it. He's got to look good doing what he's doing, and I'm hoping and believe that he will do. So we will see, but hopefully there won't be a problem. If there is, it's something that we'll have to resolve afterwards.
But the outcome of that fight is irrelevant to the Usyk fight. Is that correct?
No, the Tyson's got to get through that fight, and then we'll see where we go from there. But the fight's signed. It's a huge fight, and everybody's getting what they want.
Frank, what happens to Daniel Dubois? Because I think you guys were chasing down a rematch for him with the Usyk after that, obviously the low blow decision. What happens there?
Well, we are, and at the moment we're waiting until the WBA come back to us, which they haven't up to us yet. And once they do, and hopefully we're successful in where we're going, then we'll be in a position where Daniel is put in a position to fight Usyk, and we'll deal with that. But that's not going to get in the way of this fight.
So what would happen if they sanctioned the rematch and Usyk were to lose against Tyson Fury and wouldn't have any belts for the rematch? How does that work?
Well, then he has to fight the winner.
Okay, so there's no chance of Daniel Dubois fighting before Tyson Fury fights Usyk?
Nothing's going to get in the way of this. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. That's why the 2 guys are signed. They have tremendous belief in their respective talents. They both think they're the best, and we will find out. And as I say, the fight that everybody's been craving for, been driving me mad about for God knows how long, we've delivered it.
Frank, in your opinion, are these the 2 best heavyweights on the planet?
Without a doubt. without a doubt, number one, number two. For me, Tyson's number one, Usyk's number two. 4 belts on the line, never happened before. This is history-making fight. This is the biggest heavyweight fight of this century.
Have you talked about who else will be on the bill? The reason I say that is because when this fight was talked about and has been talked about for such a long time, we were talking about a super night of boxing, the other fight being Wilder and AJ. Have you talked about who could possibly fight on the undercard of this night?
Not even been a minute's thought about it. The thought is all about the fight that matters. That's the fight. And the undercard, I'm sure, will be a top-class undercard. But the main event surpasses anything that's on that card. Anything, by a mile, by a country mile.
Okay. Just going back to the date, because... Sorry, say again, Frank?
Or even a continental mile.
Okay. Just going back to the date, I know boxing fans are very, very excited about this fight happening, and of course they'll be thinking, I wonder if it would be before Christmas. We were hearing rumours when we heard the fight had been signed that it was going to be December the 23rd. Is that date out there for a particular reason, or has that just been made up from thin air?
The date of the fight will be announced after Tyson has his fight with Ngannou, which is which is a big, massive, and a big event.
But it is the date of December the 23rd. Is that a potential date for this super fight?
There aren't any dates. At the moment, no dates are fixed or anything. It purely will be in the Riyadh season.
Frank, going back to this fight with Usyk, was there any, from your perspective, was there any point where you thought this fight would never happen, or was you always confident that it would happen at some stage?
No, I wasn't confident because I thought when Usyk signed, when we thought we had this fight at Wembley this year, and Usyk then went signed with Skills Challenge, I felt it was going to be dead in the water. But as I say, thanks to his expertise and the doctor, we made this, or they made it with us, and everybody concerned have made it happen, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant for boxing. We're going to find out who's the best heavyweight in the world. We've all got our opinions, and we will find out when these two guys step in the ring with each other.
Frank, you said it there that this arguably is probably the biggest heavyweight fight in this century, certainly for a long time, and it's going to be in Saudi. Have you got any regrets that it's not in England?
Yeah, I mean, look. Have I got any regrets? I've got to tell you something. Whatever it takes to get it on. I mean, everybody's been driving me crazy and asking me and driving everyone mad when we're going to get it on. We've got it on. And it's only because it's in Saudi that it's happening. That's it. So, it's fantastic. And if you can get there, it'll be brilliant to watch it. If you can't, you're going to watch it on prime time in the UK. And that's the beauty of it. Okay,
give me a ballpark figure. How much money could this fight generate, do you think, Frank?
Oh, I don't even want to go there. Ballpark, I think you need bigger than a ballpark for this. I mean, it's huge. It's a huge show. And to be honest, if now it's over the line and it's been announced, I personally haven't even looked into that. The main thing is to get this on. But before that, we've got a very important date and a very important event on the 28th, and Tyson's got to come through that.
Yeah, he has, and I'm sure he will do. But when he fights Usyk, Frank, and if he does win, where does that kind of cement his legacy? Because we know he's one of the greatest heavyweights ever. I don't think that's in question. But if he was to win this fight, where would that put him? Like amongst the immortals? I
think for him, to win this fight would absolutely any doubters then would, there's no argument. There's no argument with the doubters, and there's only few doubters. For me, he's the number one heavyweight of his generation. By far, he's beat the best in beating Klitschko, who was the best of his generation. He went to the other guy's backyard and took him to school. He went to America 3 times and got robbed the first fight, but Deontay Wilder, he'd done him in style, beat him, and Wilder was the hardest punching heavyweight of his generation. Tyson's done everything that's been asked of him in thrilling fights. Those 3 fights he had with Wilder were brilliant fights. Yeah. Probably the most exciting fights out there. Certainly the last one's the most exciting heavyweight fight I've ever seen. I expect this next one to be the same because these guys have got tremendous self-belief. And I think time the fight comes around, the pressure and all the world's, everybody in the world will be wanting to watch this. And the winner who comes out of it, which I hope and I believe will be Tyson, will confirm as far as everybody's concerned, without any doubt, he is the best of his generation and would be there in any generation of any of the heavyweights.
Frank, let me ask you, provided no boxer is injured in the build-up to this fight, are you 100% guaranteeing that this fight between Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury will take place before March of next year?
It's signed. And you only sign for something that's going to happen.
Okay, I'm very excited about that. Can you not give me?
You're not more excited than me.
Well, do you know? I was going to. Well, of course, I'm not making billions out of it. But I was going to ask you. Listen, you've promoted not just boxers. You've promoted some of the biggest stars in the world. I think I'm right in saying Frank Sinatra as well. For you personally, where does this rank?
Look, we've got an event coming up on the 28th, which I've said before is the biggest event I've ever been involved with. Huge. It's going to be a huge event. The next one will be even bigger than that. It's going to be the most massive boxing event to ever take place.
Okay. And you can't give me a little sniff as to whether or not there's a rematch clause? I imagine there is, Frank, right? A fight this big.
Sniff about anything until after that fight takes place.
Okay. All right. Before I let you go, just stay with boxing, but moving on slightly. Also announced was Denzel Bentley against Nathan Heaney in Manchester. How excited are you about that fight?
I'm really excited. We've got a great show up there. It's we're calling it the Magnificent Seven. There are 7 title fights on the bill. So it's going to be, and they're all very, very competitive and involving some of our best talent that we've got on the Queensberry books. And I think you can see it's going to be a special night's boxing. So I'm very, very excited about that. I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, Frank, we were very excited the fact we heard you were coming on to talk to us here on Drive on talkSPORT before any other sports outlet. Sorry?
You say that to all the boys.
Well, we do, and we appreciate you coming on before you go on to any other media outlet. It's very kind of you, Frank. Thanks so much for your time.
Have a fabulous weekend.
We will. We will. There you go. The wonderful Frank Warren, head of Queensberry Promotions, confirming now. We know for a fact it's happening. Tyson Fury will fight Oleksandr Uysk. It's signed and it will happen before March of next year.
What a fight that is.
That's going to be fantastic.
I still can't see Fury getting beat because it's massive. It's huge.
It is going to be, absolutely. How do you think he will now feel? And we'll take calls on this, 03717223344 boxing fans. How do you think Tyson is going to feel going into the fight against Francis Ngannou now?
I think he'll still be confident. He's a super confident guy anyway. But
he's got this other fight now, this much bigger fight, a proper fight.
It'll just dust him off and then just move on to the next.
Do you think that if he had any thoughts about going into the Ngannou fight with maybe a bit of fun and string it on for a bit, do you think that has now changed his mindset?
Just get him out there as quick as possible.
I think so as well. Just get in, get the job done.
You know what Frank said there about it being in Saudi, I can understand. They've got the deepest pockets, so I get that. But you know when you've watched boxing fights over there before and the atmosphere is
awful. It's
awful. Like if it was at Wembley, like Wembley Stadium, not Arena Stadium.
I know, but the fight is on.
Yeah, I get that.
And we've talked so many times.
Part of me's gutted though. That it's
me
not
too.
Here.
Me too. But we've talked so many times about big fights either not happening or happening too late in both boxers' career.
Yeah.
This fight is happening when they're both in their pomp.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be great.